For decades, American truckers couldn't stop staring across the Atlantic. While U.S. highways were ruled by long-nose conventionals, Europe was building Cabover trucks that looked like machines from the future. Some hauled heavier loads, some squeezed into impossible streets, and some introduced technology years before Americans ever saw it. A few became legends without officially being sold in the United States. From screaming V8 powerhouses to futuristic highway kings, these are 10 European Cabover trucks Americans were absolutely obsessed with, and number 1 became a worldwide icon that changed trucking forever. Number 10. Mercedes-Benz NG, Neue Generation. When American trucking magazines began showcasing European trucks during the 1970s and 80s, one machine appeared again and again: the Mercedes-Benz NG, short for Neue Generation or New Generation. Introduced in 1973, the NG represented a major shift in heavy truck design. At a time when many trucks around the world still prioritized simplicity over driver comfort, Mercedes-Benz was already thinking about ergonomics, visibility, and long-haul efficiency. The NG featured a modern tilting cab that gave mechanics easy access to the engine, reducing maintenance time and improving serviceability. That alone caught the attention of many American truck enthusiasts who were accustomed to lifting hoods on conventional trucks. What really fascinated Americans was the truck's appearance. The NG looked compact compared to American highway tractors, yet it was capable of hauling massive loads across Europe. Its square cab, large windshield, and practical design made it look futuristic compared to many conventional trucks operating in North America at the time. The truck was offered with a wide variety of diesel engines, including powerful V8 options that produced impressive torque for the era. Operators appreciated the truck's durability, and many examples accumulated enormous mileage while working under demanding conditions. Throughout Europe, the NG became a common sight hauling freight through mountains, cities, and international trade routes. American truckers visiting Europe often returned with stories about seeing these compact cabovers pulling loads that seemed impossible for their size. Trucking publications in the United States regularly featured photographs of NG tractors working in Germany, France, and other European countries, creating a sense of curiosity among American readers. Number 9. Volvo F12. If there was one European truck that consistently impressed American truckers during the late 70s and 80s, it was the Volvo F12. This wasn't just another cabover truck. It was a machine that demonstrated how far European engineering had progressed. While many Americans still viewed cabovers mainly as a space-saving compromise, introduced in 1977, the F12 quickly became one of the most successful heavy trucks Volvo had ever built. The truck arrived during a period when European freight transport was becoming increasingly demanding. Operators needed vehicles that could travel long distances efficiently, handle mountainous terrain, and provide greater comfort for drivers spending days away from home. Volvo designed the F12 specifically to meet those challenges. At the heart of the truck was Volvo's advanced 12-liter diesel engine. Depending on the version, power outputs ranged from around 330 horsepower to well over 400 horsepower. Impressive figures for the era. More importantly, the engine produced tremendous low-end torque, allowing drivers to pull heavy loads across steep grades without constantly fighting the gearbox. What really captured American attention was the truck's driver-focused design. During the late 70s, many American trucks still emphasized rugged durability above all else. Volvo, however, invested heavily in driver comfort. The F12 featured one of the most spacious cabs available in Europe. Drivers enjoyed improved seating positions, excellent visibility, reduced noise levels, and sleeper accommodations that felt surprisingly comfortable for long-haul work. Trucking journalists from North America frequently praised the truck after test drives in Europe. Many were shocked by how refined it felt compared to what they expected from a cabover. Instead of a cramped work environment, the F12 offered a practical living space designed around the driver's needs. The truck also earned a reputation for safety. Volvo had already established itself as a leader in automotive safety, and many of those principles carried over into its truck division. The cab structure was designed with crash protection in mind, while braking systems and handling characteristics helped improve overall vehicle control. Another reason Americans became fascinated with the F12 was its success in international trucking. During the 80s, photographs of brightly colored Volvo F12s hauling freight across Europe became common in trucking magazines around the world. Whether crossing the Alps, traveling through Scandinavia, or operating on major European freight corridors, the truck seemed capable of handling any assignment. Number 8. Scania 142. If there was one European truck that American enthusiasts talked about with almost mythical respect during the 1980s, it was the Scania 142. This truck wasn't famous because of futuristic styling or luxury features. It became legendary because of one thing: raw V8 power. Introduced in 1980 as part of Scania's 2 Series lineup, the 142 quickly established itself as one of the most powerful production trucks operating on European roads. At a time when many heavy trucks relied on 6-cylinder diesel engines, Scania continued refining its famous V8 platform. The result was a machine that delivered performance unlike anything most drivers had experienced. The truck's most famous engine was the 14-liter V8 diesel. Depending on specification and year, outputs ranged from approximately 375 horsepower to well over 420 horsepower. Those numbers may not sound extraordinary today, but during the early 80s they placed the Scania among the most powerful highway trucks in Europe. What made the engine truly special wasn't just horsepower. It was the enormous torque available at low engine speeds. Drivers could pull heavy loads through mountain passes and across long-distance routes while maintaining impressive performance. The deep growl of the Scania V8 became one of the most recognizable sounds in trucking history. American truckers first became fascinated with the 142 through trucking magazines, international truck shows, and photographs circulating throughout the industry. The idea of a compact cabover producing that level of power seemed almost unbelievable. Many Americans associated high horsepower with large conventional tractors featuring massive hoods, yet here was a truck with the cab positioned directly over the engine, delivering performance that could rival some of the most respected heavy haulers of the era. The truck also developed an outstanding reputation for reliability. Long-haul operators throughout Europe depended on the 142 for some of the continent's toughest transportation jobs. Whether hauling freight through Scandinavia's harsh winters or crossing the mountainous routes of Central Europe, the truck consistently proved its durability. Another factor that increased its popularity was customization. Owners frequently equipped their Scanias with additional lights, chrome accessories, unique paint schemes, and decorative interior upgrades. By the mid-80s, the Scania 142 had become more than just a work vehicle. It had become a symbol of pride among professional drivers. American trucking publications often featured these customized European trucks, and readers were captivated. The combination of bold styling, massive V8 power, and cabover practicality created something that felt entirely different from traditional American trucking culture. Number 7. DF3300. While Scania and Volvo often grabbed the headlines, one European truck quietly built a reputation that earned the respect of drivers across the continent and the admiration of trucking enthusiasts in America. The DF33. Introduced during the 1970s, the DF3300 became one of the Dutch manufacturer's most successful heavy-duty trucks. At first glance, it looked simple compared to some of its competitors, but that simplicity was exactly what made it so effective. The truck was designed to be reliable, practical, and easy to maintain, qualities that fleet owners greatly appreciated. The 3300 was powered by a range of diesel engines, including turbocharged options that delivered strong performance for long-haul transportation. Its cab was considered spacious by European standards, providing drivers with good visibility and a comfortable working environment during extended trips across Europe. American truck enthusiasts became interested in the DF3300 because it represented a different approach to trucking. Instead of focusing on extreme horsepower or flashy styling, DF concentrated on efficiency and durability. The truck proved that a well-designed cabover could compete with larger and more powerful machines while keeping operating costs under control. The 3300 was especially common on international freight routes connecting countries such as the Netherlands, Germany, Belgium, and France. Thousands of drivers relied on these trucks every day, helping establish DAF as a major player in the European trucking industry. Another reason Americans admired the 3300 was its distinctive appearance. The large grille, square cab design, and practical layout gave it a professional look that stood out in photographs published by trucking magazines during the 80s. Number 6. Mercedes F12. By the late 1980s, European truck manufacturers were competing fiercely to build the most advanced long-haul tractor on the road. One truck that stood out from the crowd was the MAN F12. To many American truck enthusiasts, it looked like a glimpse into the future. Introduced in 1986, the F12 replaced MAN's earlier F8 series and immediately gained attention for its modern design. The truck featured a larger, more aerodynamic cab, improved visibility, and significantly better driver comfort than many of its predecessors. While American trucks were still largely focused on traditional long-nose designs, the F12 demonstrated how much capability could be packed into a compact cabover layout. The truck was available with several diesel engine options, including powerful 6-cylinder and V10 engines. Depending on the model, some versions produced well over 400 horsepower, allowing the F12 to handle demanding long-haul work throughout Europe. Whether climbing alpine passes or hauling heavy freight across Germany's autobahns, the truck earned a reputation for strong performance and reliability. What fascinated Americans most was the level of technology. The F12 offered features that were relatively advanced for the era, including improved suspension systems, refined transmissions, and driver-focused cab layouts. European manufacturers were increasingly treating drivers as professionals who needed comfortable working environments, and the F12 reflected that philosophy. The truck quickly became a common sight throughout Europe, especially among international freight operators. Its durability and efficiency made it popular with fleet owners, while drivers appreciated its comfortable interior and predictable handling characteristics. Truck magazines in North America often highlighted the F12 as an example of how European trucking was evolving. Readers were impressed by the truck's modern appearance and innovative engineering. It looked less like a traditional work vehicle and more like a machine designed specifically for efficiency and long-distance transportation. Number 5. Renault Magnum. Few European trucks shocked American truck enthusiasts more than the Renault Magnum. When it debuted in 1990, it looked less like a conventional truck and more like something from a science fiction movie. Even today, more than 3 decades later, the Magnum still looks unique. What made the Magnum so revolutionary was its design. Instead of mounting the cab directly over the engine like most cabovers, Renault created a completely flat-floor cab that sat above a separate engine compartment. This gave drivers an unprecedented amount of interior space. A driver could stand up and walk around inside the cab without having to step over a large engine tunnel, something almost unheard of in trucking at the time. The truck's appearance was equally striking. Its tall, box-shaped cab, huge windshield, and elevated driving position made it instantly recognizable. American trucking magazines frequently featured photographs of the Magnum because it looked unlike anything operating on North American highways. Many truckers couldn't believe that such a futuristic vehicle was being used for everyday freight work across Europe. The Magnum was available with a range of powerful diesel engines over its production life, including engines sourced from both Renault and later Volvo after the companies became closely connected. These engines provided the performance needed for long-distance international transport while maintaining the efficiency European operators demanded. Drivers loved the truck for another reason: comfort. Long-haul truckers often spent days or even weeks on the road, and the Magnum's spacious interior made life significantly easier. The flat floor, generous headroom, and practical storage solutions created one of the best living spaces available in any production truck of its era. Number 4. Iveco TurboStar. If there was one European truck that combined performance, style, and prestige during the 1980s, it was the Iveco TurboStar. To many drivers, this wasn't just a truck, it was a status symbol. Introduced in 1984, the TurboStar quickly became one of the most successful long-haul trucks in Europe. Built by Iveco, the truck was designed for international transport and aimed directly at operators who wanted power, reliability, and driver comfort. It didn't take long for the TurboStar to develop a loyal following across the continent. What truly made the truck famous was its engine lineup. While several engine options were available, the most legendary versions were powered by Iveco's V8 diesel engines. These engines delivered impressive horsepower and torque figures for the era, allowing the truck to move heavy loads with ease. The sound of the V8 became one of the truck's defining characteristics, earning admiration from drivers throughout Europe. American truck enthusiasts became fascinated with the TurboStar after seeing photographs in trucking magazines and international truck shows. The truck's appearance was bold and aggressive. Its distinctive grille, aerodynamic roof options, and commanding road presence gave it a personality that stood out from competitors. Many Americans compared its popularity in Europe to the way iconic conventional trucks were admired in the United States. The TurboStar was also known for treating drivers well. The cab offered generous space, comfortable seating, and improved noise insulation. At a time when long-haul trucking could be physically exhausting, these features made a noticeable difference. Number 3. Volvo FH12. By the time the Volvo FH12 arrived in 1993, European trucking had entered a new era. Trucks were no longer judged solely by how much weight they could pull. Comfort, safety, fuel efficiency, and technology were becoming just as important. The FH12 excelled in all of those areas, and many Americans considered it one of the most advanced trucks in the world. The FH12 was developed completely from the ground up. Volvo invested years of research into creating a truck that could meet the demands of modern long-haul transportation. The result was a vehicle that looked sleek, modern, and far ahead of many competitors. Its aerodynamic cab design helped improve fuel efficiency while reducing wind noise for drivers spending long hours on the highway. Under the cab, the FH12 featured Volvo's new 12-liter diesel engine. Depending on configuration, power outputs ranged from around 380 horsepower to over 460 horsepower. The engine quickly gained a reputation for reliability, smooth operation, and excellent fuel economy. Fleet operators appreciated the lower operating costs, while drivers enjoyed the strong pulling power. What truly impressed American truck enthusiasts was the truck's technology. The FH12 introduced advanced electronic systems, improved braking technology, sophisticated suspension options, and a driver-focused dashboard. Many features that later became common throughout the trucking industry appeared on the FH12 years before they were widely adopted elsewhere. The cab itself set new standards for comfort. Drivers had more space, better storage, improved visibility, and significantly lower noise levels than many earlier trucks. For long-haul operators crossing multiple countries, the FH12 felt more like a mobile living space than a traditional work truck. The truck's excellence was recognized almost immediately. When it won the International Truck of the Year award, it became a bestseller across Europe and helped establish Volvo as one of the global leaders in heavy-duty trucking. Number 2. Mercedes-Benz Actros. When the Mercedes-Benz Actros debuted in 1996, it didn't just replace an older truck, it completely changed expectations for what a modern heavy-duty truck could be. Across Europe, it quickly became one of the most influential trucks ever built. In America, truck enthusiasts watched with fascination as Mercedes introduced technologies that seemed years ahead of their time. The Actros was designed from the beginning to be a next-generation long-haul tractor. Mercedes engineers focused heavily on efficiency, safety, driver comfort, and electronic integration. While many trucks of the era still relied on relatively simple mechanical systems, the Actros embraced advanced electronics on a scale rarely seen in commercial vehicles. One of its most important innovations was the introduction of sophisticated onboard computer systems that monitored vehicle performance and helped improve efficiency. The truck also featured advanced braking technologies and electronic controls that enhanced both safety and drivability. These innovations would later become standard throughout much of the trucking industry. The Actros was available with a range of powerful diesel engines, including large V6 and V8 power plants capable of handling Europe's toughest transport assignments. Whether hauling freight across Germany's autobahns, crossing the Alps, or operating on international routes, the truck proved itself capable of handling demanding workloads. American truck enthusiasts were particularly impressed by the truck's futuristic appearance. The rounded cab design looked dramatically different from the boxier trucks that had dominated previous decades. Large windows improved aerodynamics, and a spacious interior made the truck look more like a vehicle from the 21st century than the 20th. Drivers appreciated the Actros for another reason: comfort. Mercedes placed enormous emphasis on creating a pleasant working environment. The cab offered excellent visibility, comfortable seating, practical storage solutions, and sleeper compartments designed for long-distance travel. For drivers spending days on the road, these features made a significant difference. Number 1. Scania 140. If there is one European cabover truck that Americans became truly obsessed with, it is the Scania 140. For countless trucking enthusiasts, this machine represents the absolute peak of classic European trucking. Decades after production ended, it remains one of the most admired and respected trucks ever built. Introduced as part of Scania's legendary 3 Series range in the late 1980s, the 143 quickly earned a reputation that spread far beyond Europe. At a time when trucking companies demanded more power, better reliability, and improved driver comfort, Scania delivered a truck that seemed to excel at everything. The heart of the 143 was its famous 14-liter V8 diesel engine. Depending on the version, power outputs reached up to 500 horsepower, an astonishing figure for a production truck of that era. In fact, when the 143 appeared, it became one of the most powerful trucks available anywhere in the world. For drivers hauling heavy loads through mountain ranges and across international routes, that extra power made a tremendous difference. But horsepower alone wasn't what made the truck legendary. The V8 produced enormous torque, allowing the truck to pull heavy freight with remarkable ease. Drivers often describe the engine as smooth, powerful, and seemingly unstoppable. Its distinctive exhaust note became famous throughout Europe, and even today, truck enthusiasts can identify a Scania V8 simply by its sound. American truckers first encountered the 140 through magazines, truck shows, videos, and photographs from Europe. What amazed many of them was the idea that a compact cabover could produce performance comparable to some of the biggest highway tractors operating in North America. The truck challenged traditional assumptions about what a cabover could achieve. The 143 also earned a reputation for durability. Many examples accumulated well over 1 million kilometers while continuing to work in demanding conditions. Fleet operators trusted the truck, drivers loved it, and enthusiasts admired it. So that's it for today. If you like this video, then please hit the like and subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching.